Okay, so now the class is being recorded. Okay, great. So, hello, good morning, one and all. Let us start with the unit number 2. So, the application of LPP, that is linear programming problem. We have already completed our unit 1 with linear programming problem. We have solved first the formulation of a problem, how to formulate a given word problem into the numerical equations, how do we write the objective function, how we write the different constraints, how we write the non-negativity constraint, everything should be written, and then it can be solved using a graphical method or a simplex method. In graphical method, the limitation of a graphical method is you can only use it for two decision variables. If the decision variables are more than two, you cannot use it. Then we have also studied about the simplex method. In simplex method, we started with the simple simplex method for maximization problem. Then we moved on to minimization problem. Then we have seen the addition of a slack variable and a surplus variable and an artificial variable. Then we have also seen the big M method. After big M method, we have also seen how the number of different solution can be achieved in an linear programming problem, so that there can be a infeasible solution, there can be an unbounded solution, there can be a bounded solution, an optimal solution, there can be a infeasible solution, there can be a alternative or multiple type of an alternative solutions, isn't it? This all we have already studied in the previous classes. So now what we are interested in, the studying of the applications of an LPP. So the basic and very simple kind of an application was to put into the transportation schedule. So when we put it into transportation schedule, we see there, for better understanding of a transportation problem, let us see this example that I have written here. This example I have created, you may not find it in any books. Just to give you an overview, I have created this problem. So we see that there is a company which is having two manufacturing plants, okay, and two warehouses. So you see there are two manufacturing plants and two warehouses. The cost of transportation of one unit, single unit, whatever they are manufacturing, we are not bothered about what they are manufacturing. They can be manufacturing pens, they can be manufacturing chairs, they can be manufacturing tables, they can be manufacturing cakes, they can be manufacturing anything. We are not interested in what they are manufacturing. What we are interested in, whatever they are manufacturing, if one unit of that product, whatever the product may be, if one unit of that product is transported from a plant to the warehouse, then the transportation cost is given in the table. So there are two factories, say A and B. So from A to warehouse 1, please understand this carefully. So from A to warehouse 1, so from A to W1, the cost of transportation is 20. From A to W2, the cost of transportation is 50. Similarly, from B to W1, the cost of transportation is 40. From B to W2, the cost of transportation is 30. Any doubts in this? Yes, sir. Any doubts? Students, any doubts in this? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, I didn't get from A to warehouse 1, sir.
Yeah, so there is one factory, say one bottling plant. Let us take an example of a Coca-Cola bottling plant. So there is a bottling plant at, say, Mangalpalli. Okay, let us name this as A. Okay, so Coca-Cola have a bottling plant at Mangalpalli. So from Mangalpalli to their warehouse at, say, B.N. Reddy. So for traveling one bottle of Coca-Cola from factory A to warehouse 1, W1, the cost of transportation, that is the cost invested in transporting the bottle, is costing around 20 rupees. Okay. Now do you get it? Similarly,
Yes,
from, if if from say Mangalpalli to say your NGO's colony, the cost of transportation is 50. See why I am always giving these examples like NGO's colony or BN Reddy, because I stay in NGO's colony, so I remember these places. You can assume any place you want. Okay, this is just an example. Okay, so then say for example there is one factory at say Bangalore. Okay, so from Bangalore to say Ibrahimpatnam, the cost of transportation is 40. From Bangalore to say, from Bangalore to BN Reddy is 40. From Bangalore to NGO's colony is 30. Some transportation cost is given. Okay, so there are two factories and two warehouses. Okay, so the transportation cost of one unit is given. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the factories can produce a maximum of 500 units. So factory A can produce 500 units. So factory A production or the capacity of factory A is 500 and capacity of factory B is 700. So if we are taking an example of Coca-Cola, so Coca-Cola bottles, 500 bottles can be produced at Mangalpalli and 700 bottles can be produced at Bangalore. Okay. Now the warehouses at NGO's colony or BN Reddy, say BN Reddy W1 can store a maximum of 800 bottles, whereas storehouse at NGO's colony can store a maximum of 400 bottles. Clear? Any doubts in this? Any doubts up to this point? So if
No,
I
sir.
try to create the LPP problem, linear programming problem, then I would write minimize Z, that is my objective function, is equal to 20 into x1 plus 50 into x2 plus 40 into x3 plus 30 into x4, where x1 is the number of bottles or number of units from A to W1. X2 is number of units from A to W2. Similarly, X3 is number of units from B to W1, and X4 will be number of units from B to W2. Correct? So I have assumed that number of units from A to W1 transferred is X1. Similarly, X2 is from A to W2. Similarly, X3 is from B to W1 and X4 is B to W2. Is there any problem in this? If not, then we need to write subjected to constraints. Subjected to constraints. Subjected to constraints. So what are the constraints? Constraints will be, I am very sure that x1 plus x2 should be equal to 500. Isn't it? Because factory A is producing 500 units. So all the 500 units should be sent to warehouse. Isn't it? You cannot store the produced product into factory. You need to send it to warehouse. Similarly, x3 plus x4 should be equal to 700.
Sir,
This we call it
here,
as, yeah. Ask me.
here we don't have less than or equal to, sir, because the factories can produce a maximum of 500 units is given. So are we not taking less
Actually,
than or equal to?
we are not taking less than equal to because we are assuming that the maximum output is produced. Okay. Actually, I have
Okay.
written maximum. I'll tell you. Just wait for 1 minute. Okay. I'll tell you why I have taken it. Okay. Just wait for 1 minute. So this type of constraint is called supply constraint. Supply constraint. Okay. Now coming back to the question what Aditya was asking. Here it is written the factory can produce a maximum of 500 units. Normally, if you see the question, you will have like the factory is producing 500 units and 700 units respectively. They will give the exact capacity of the factory. I have given this because I want to say that if the demand is less, then we can reduce the factory production. There is a chance we can reduce the factory production. But since the problem is of transportation, we are not going to reduce the factory production because you see 500 plus 700 is 500 plus 700 is 1200. 800 plus 400 is 1200. So this is both are equal, isn't it? That is why I have taken equal here. Okay. What I am trying to say is this is the constraint from supply end, that factories can supply a maximum of this value. Similarly, we have one end which is called demand end or the storage end, that is x1 plus x3 should be equal to 800 and x2 plus x4 should be equal to 400. This is the demand constraint. Okay, and if these two are equal, summation of these two are equal, then it is known as balanced problem. Okay, we'll understand what is balanced problem a little later, but for now what I know is these are the constraints. Is there any doubt up to this point? Is there any doubt? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if there is any doubt, please ask now. If there is any doubt, please ask now. No? Then I'll move forward. Now, if you see the problem, a very small problem is there, isn't it? Only 2 manufacturing plants and 2 warehouses. But even for a very small problem, how many constraints we have? We have 4 constraints. Other than this, we also have a non-negativity constraint. I am not written non-negativity constraint. Okay. So we have 4 constraints, and how many variables we have? We have 4 variables. To solve these 4 variables, if you see this is all equal to, so if this is equal to, what we will do? We will add artificial variables A1, A2, A3, A4, isn't it? That means we are having almost 4 variables here, 4 variables here, 8 variables to solve for solving the transportation problem, isn't it? So how can this be easy? So for making it easy, we have already developed a model which is called a transportation model, which works on the transportation solution, transportation solution. So for transportation solution, we have certain steps. So let us write down these steps. So step number 1 is formulation of problem. Formulation of problem. Step number 2, find initial solution using any one method. What are the methods? First method is any one of these three. First method is NCW, sorry, my mistake. The first method is NWCM, that is north west corner method. Okay, so first method is NWCM, that is north west corner method. Second method is LCM. LCM method is least cost method. Least cost method. The third method is WAM method. WAM method is audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Vogel's approximation method. Vogel's approximation method. After this, we have step number 3. Step number 3, test for optimality. Test for optimality. Test for optimality. This will be done with the help of Modi method. Modi method is not Narendra Modi method, it is modified method. Modified method. Okay. Then step number 4. Step number 4. Repeat for step 3 or get optimal solution. Optimal solution. Okay. This is what you need to do. Just hold on for a second. Just. NA109 Rambabu sir. Get the signature, get the stamp, and submit the copy of it. Okay. Sorry. So, hello. Am I audible?
Yes,
hello.
sir.
Okay. So these are the 4 steps. We have to repeat these 4 steps to get the solution. Now, if this is okay, then let us move to formulation of a problem. How do we formulate a problem? So normally, normally for transportation problem, you will have a transportation table. For transportation problem, you will create a transportation table. what is the transportation table? Very simple. Don't worry about it. Very simple. On the first, we will draw one column with the supplying units. Supplying units. Okay. So it can be a factory F1. It can be a warehouse W1. Now you may say, sir, warehouse, in the earlier case, you were saying that it was a demand unit. Now you are saying that this is a supply unit. Yes. If I am supplying from warehouse to a retail outlet, got my point? Like what companies do is, company like Coca-Cola, they will produce bottling at their bottling plant. They'll bring it to a warehouse, and from the warehouse, it will send to your nearby shop from where you get the bottle, isn't it? Company doesn't sell or doesn't directly produce the bottle in the factory and send it to your home, isn't it? They'll send it first to the warehouse. From warehouse, it is being circulated to the retail shops. So if the warehouse to retail shop is in the problem, then warehouse will become the supplying unit. Okay, or there can be a manufacturing unit M1, anything. Okay, then here you will have the demanding units. Demanding units. Okay, so here you have demanding units. So demanding units can be your warehouse, it can be your retail shop, it can be your shopping malls, it can be anything. Okay, and then we will draw the columns for them. Okay, similarly we will draw the rows for the supplying units. Okay, is it clear? Any doubts up to this point? What I have done is I have drawn the supplying units in the first column and the demanding units in the other columns, so that these becomes the row. Okay, these are the rows F1, W1, M1, and these becomes the columns W1, R1, shopping mall 1. Correct? Any problems in this? Any problems in this point?
No, sir.
Okay, then we will write the transportation cost. Transportation cost of transporting from factory 1 to warehouse 1 at this top left corner. Okay, please remember this, that we will write the cost C11 at the top right corner, sorry, top left corner. Okay, similarly here it will be C1, here it will be C12, here it will be C13, here it will be C21, C22, C23, here it will be C31, C32, C33. Okay, any doubts in this? I have written supply units, where demanding units. For supply units, I have written the from supplying unit F1 to W1 cost is C11. From row 1 to column 1, C11. From row 1 to column 2, C12. From row 1 to column 3, C13. From row 2 to column 1, C21. From row 2 to column 2, C22, and so on. So from row 3 to column 3, C33. Any doubts in this? Any doubts in this?
No, sir.
If not, then I'll write here the supply. At the last column, I'll write supply. What is supply? The amount factory 1 is producing. So factory 1 is producing, say, amount S1. Factory 2 or warehouse 2 is supplying S2. M1 is supplying S3. Similarly, here we will write demand. Here we will write demand. Demand is the demand which is available at the share or your at the market. So either it is like your warehouse where you have the storage capacity, or the retail outlet where there is a demand for the Coca-Cola bottles. So it is demand 1, this is demand 2, this is demand 3. Okay. Now after this, what I'll do is in this last column, last row, I'll create a line like this. Here I'll write summation of D. Here I'll write summation of S. 1 to N number of rows. Okay. So what I'm writing, I'll write this column here. So I'm writing summation of I equal to 1 to N. Okay. Di is equal to summation of I equal to 1 to N. Okay. 1 to N S1. Okay. So we have M columns and N rows. Okay. N rows. If we have M column and N rows, then the total demand should be equal to total supply. If this is correct, then it is known as balanced problem. Just 2 minutes back I have told you this, isn't it? Here we have seen this. If this is equal, we say that it's a balanced problem. Okay. Now if this is not equal, what will happen? Say if this is not equal, I 1 to M Di is not equal to summation of I 1 to N Si. Then what? Then it is called unbalanced problem. Simple, isn't it? Now what to do if a problem is balanced problem or unbalanced problem? We'll see it later. Okay,
So
don't
we
worry
have
about
to
it.
check for every problem, sir, whether it is balanced or not.
Yes, every problem you have to check whether it's a balanced problem or whether it's an unbalanced problem. Not to worry, just summation. Whatever values are there in this last column, add them. Whatever values are there in the last row, add them and see if the values are same. If the values are same, then we called it a balanced problem. If the values are different, we called it an unbalanced problem. Okay. How to solve a balanced problem, how to solve an unbalanced problem, we'll take care of it later. Don't worry about it. But is it clear that how to say whether the problem is balanced or not? Can you
Yes,
say
sir.
it if the problem is balanced or not? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Then if you see what we have done, what we have written here is we have written that this is the constraint. If you see, this is the constraint S1. If you remember, S1 is the constraint for factory F1. So what we do is we make some allocations here. Now how to make allocations, I'll tell you. But whenever there is an allocation made, it is made by A11, A13. I'm making a random allocation now just to tell you what allocation means. A22, and let us say we'll keep it here only. So A32. Okay, what is an allocation? Allocation means that A11 quantity of product will move from F1 to W1. If there is a circle like this and some value is written here, A11, it indicates that from factory F1, we are going to transport the A11 quantity to warehouse 1. Okay. Is it clear? What does this A11 indicate? A11 indicate that from factory F1 to W1, we are going to transport this quantity A11. Okay. If there is an allocation here, that means from F11, that is, sorry, F1 factory 1 to shopping mall 1, we are going to transfer A13 quantity. And at the same time, you will see that A11 plus A13 will be equal to S1. Okay, this will be done. Now, how to make these allocation? For these allocation, we are going to use these three methods: northwest corner method, LCM method, and Vogel's approximation method. Okay, any of these three methods we are going to use. Okay, for initial allocations, these allocations. Okay, is it clear? Now, what does these allocation means? These allocation means that certain quantity from this point to this point is being transported. Now, if there is an allocation in a cell, this is a cell, this is 1 cell, 2 cell, 3 cell, 4 cell, 5 cell, 6 cell, 7 cell, 8, 9. This problem is of 9 by 9 cells, 3 by 3 matrix, correct? So if in a cell there is an allocation, like for this cell there is an allocation, so this type of a cell is known as occupied cell. Occupied cell. This type of a cell is known as occupied cell. Whereas if you see this cell, there is no allocation, so this is called unoccupied cell. Please try to understand these terminologies, because this is going to be very useful when we are going to study the Modi method. So if there's any problem with the terminology, please ask me now. If there's any problem with the terminology, please ask me now.
Sir, what is the cell? The tabular form, sir?
Yeah, this tabular form, this form, this block is known as a cell. This cell, what does this cell indicates? This cell indicates us the cost of transportation from one particular factory to one particular warehouse or a demanding unit, from one supply unit to a demanding unit. This cost is indicated. That is why this is called a cell. Now, if this cell is having certain allocation, then it is known as occupied cell. If it is not having any allocation, then it is known as unoccupied cell. Okay? Any doubts now? Will I call this S1? Okay. Will I call this S1 as a cell? Will I call this as a cell? No, this will not be called as a cell. Cell will be only these values, which is having cost values. So if there is C11, C12, C13, then it will be called as a cell. This will not be called as a cell. This will be called as a column. This will be called as a row. Okay. This will be row. This will be column. This will be row. This will not be cells. Okay. Cells is only where you have the cost of transportation. Is it clear now? Is it clear now? Okay. So what is an occupied cell? Occupied cell is a cell where you have an allocation. What is a non-occupied cell? Where you have a no allocation. Okay. Now let us return to our problem. This was my problem. If I convert this problem into the mathematical equation or the transportation problem, then what I'll write is, we have two factories. So for this solution, what I'll do is solution of the problem. So for the solution of the problem, first step is to formulate the problem. So formulation we have already done. So you don't need to formulate here. What you need to do is, when you are solving a transportation problem, you will simply draw transportation table. Transportation table. We'll start with transportation table and we'll name it as iteration 1. We'll simply name it as iteration 1. So for iteration 1, what I'll do is, I'll write first the factories. Here I have factories. Same problem I am solving, the problem that I have started the class with. So I have written A, I have written B. This is my supply units. Then I'll write warehouses. Warehouses. So warehouses is W1 and W2, isn't it? Any doubts in this? Now I have drawn this. Oh, sorry. So you have W1 here, W2 here. This is warehouses. Okay. This is warehouses. Now what we are going to do, we are going to write the cost, or let us write the supply first. So I am going to write supply here, and I am going to write demand here, isn't it? If I am going to do it like this, then here it will be one more row, and here it will be one more column, isn't it? Is there any doubt up to this point? So this is my table. In this table, what I need to write first is the cost of transportation. So in the cost of transportation, I see that the cost of transportation from A to W1 is 20, 50, 40, 30, correct? So same values I'll write it, but now I'll not write them in the center value. I'll write them in the top left corner. So this is 20, this is 50, sorry, this is 50, this is 40, sorry, this is 40, and this is 30, isn't it? Let us check once. Correct? 20, 40, sorry, 20, 50, 40, 30. So I have written it in the top top left corner. Okay. Any doubts up to this point?
No, sir.
Okay. Then we write the supply. So supply is 500. 500. Supply is 700. Demand is 800.
400.
Demand is 800 and 400. Now we see that it's a balanced problem. 1200 is the total supply and total demand. Any doubts in this?
No, sir.
Any doubts in this? Okay.
No, sir.
After this, we have to use any of the allocation method. Any of the allocation method means we have NCW, NWCM, northwest corner method, LCM method, or VAM method. Okay. So today we will go with NWCM only. So NWCM, as the name suggests, northwest. So say if I'm standing here, okay, if I'm standing here, what is will be my northwest? This will be north, correct? So top row and the first column, west column. Okay, so this is my west, isn't it? So if I'm standing here, this is my north, this is south, this is east, and this is west, isn't it? Correct? Any doubts in the directions?
No, sir.
Good. Okay. So for northwest corner method, we have to select the first row. We have to select the top row, and I should not say the first row. We should say the top row and the leftmost column. Okay, the leftmost column. So this is the cell. Okay, if you see, there are two rows. So top row is first row, and the top, the leftmost column is the W1. So I have selected this cell. Okay, in this cell, I'll see the supply. Supply is 500. Okay, in this cell, what is the maximum supply? 500. What is the demand? 800. Whichever is less. Okay, whichever is less in this cell. I have selected this cell. So let me just highlight this cell. This is for your purpose. You should not draw the highlighting. Okay, just to make you understand, I am highlighting this cell. Okay, so for this cell, what is the amount of supply? So amount of supply is 500, correct? What is the amount of demand? 800. Which is less? Which is less?
Supply is less.
Supply is less. So supply is less. So we will apply the supply as the allocation. So we will apply the allocation as 500. We will apply allocation as 500. Whichever is less. So I have applied allocation as 500 and I'll make it a circle. Please make sure that whenever you are making an allocation, you make a circle. Here also you see I have made these circles. Okay. You don't need to highlight the cell, but you need to highlight the allocation. So once you have made the allocation, we have made it 500. Once you have made the allocation, the instant, at that same instant, you have to reduce that allocation from the supply and from the demand. So I will subtract this. So this becomes 0, correct? 500 minus 500 will become 0. And this 800 will become 300, isn't it? Correct? Any doubts in this? Any doubts in this?
Once again, you can explain, sir.
Okay. Again, I'll explain. First is northwest corner. Northwest corner is topmost row, leftmost column. So this is my topmost row. This is my leftmost column. Okay. So this cell is selected. After selecting the cell, we need to see the supply and demand. Supply is 500, demand is 800. Whichever is less, so less is 500. So 500 will be made an allocation. Whichever is less, make that as an allocation. So I have made allocation of 500. Since I have made 500 allocation, what does this mean? This means that from factory A, 500 units will go to warehouse number 1, isn't it? What does this mean? This means that from factory A, 500 units will go to warehouse number 1. So if you see factory A, will factory A be able to produce more units? No, maximum is 500. So this will become 0. But what about warehouse 1? Warehouse 1 has got 500 capacity, 800 capacity, out of which 500 is being supplied from factory A. So what is the vacancy? What is the storage space it is still having? It is 300, isn't it? So how to get this 300? We have reduced 800 minus 500, isn't it? Is it clear now? Is it clear
Yes,
now?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So if this is clear, then whichever gets 0, we will cut that row. We will cut that row. So I'll make a line here. I'll make a line here. Just a line. This line you should not make by pen. When you are solving the question in the answer scripts, do not use pen. I do not have an option. That's why I've used this pen. Okay. But if you are using it in the in the paper, use pencil. Please carry pencils with you. Okay, and cut it. This is for your reference. The examiner has to do nothing with this cutting. Okay. Okay. Why I am cutting this is because I want to see the northwest corner. With this iteration, one supply is done, but the problem is yet not solved, isn't it? So out of 1200, only 500 is being allocated. Okay, so we need to make more allocations, isn't it? So again, we will see the northwest corner, which is the top row now. So second row is the top row, which is the leftmost column. This is the leftmost column. So I'll made an allocation here. Okay. Now what allocation I should make? Again, I'll see the supply and demand. What will be the allocation now? Who will tell me the allocation? For allocation, we need to see supply and demand. Supply is 700, demand is 300. Which is less?
300, sir.
300.
300.
Demand.
So what allocation? So what allocation I will make? 300.
300.
because 300 is less. So I'll make 300. Once I make 300 allocation, this demand will become 0, isn't it? This demand
Yes,
will
sir.
become 0 and this will become 400,
400.
100.
correct? This
Yes.
will become 400, correct? So now
Yes.
again I'll cut this row, this column, correct? This row is already cut, this column is already cut, only this cell is remaining. So I'll make the final allocation here. What will be the allocation? Supply is 400, demand is 400.
400.
Will be 400. This is also becoming 0. This is also going to be 0. If your problem is balanced, you will see that the allocations, after allocations, all will become 0. Correct? Correct? Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this?
Sir, at column row A, warehouse 2, there won't be anything, yes, sir, because one supply is 0.
Yes, yes. If this column, if this cell is unoccupied, now which is the occupied cell? Occupied cell is 1 1. This is occupied cell 1 1, 2 1, 2 2. But what about 1 2? 1 2 is no allocation. No allocation means that from factory 1, no products will be transferred to warehouse 2. Got it? Since all the factory 1 production is going to warehouse 1, that is from A, everything which is being produced by A is being supplied to W1, correct?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? Okay, now the question doesn't end here. So for the question, you need to find the transportation cost. So transportation cost Z is equal to what? Or you can write T, whichever you like. Okay, some books you may find Z, some books you may find T, whatever you like, you can write. So what will be the cost? So cost of transporting from A to W1 was 20. So 20 into what is the allocation? Allocation is 500 into 500 plus from B to W1 is 40. 40 into 300. Okay, plus 50. Cost of transporting from A to W2 is 50. So should I write 50 into 0, no allocation? If I don't
Yes,
write it,
sir.
then also it is okay, isn't it? So I'll not write for the unoccupied cell. I'll write only for the occupied cell. So for the occupied cell, last is 30 into 400. Okay. So what will be the total cost? Can you calculate it? 1000 plus 1200, 2200 plus 1200. What is the total cost? 24, 24 और 34. So the total cost is 34,000.
3,400.
No, 34,000, sir.
34,000.
100.
34,000.
34,000.
3,400.
1,000. There are
Okay,
three
okay.
zeros.
34,000.
Okay, sir.
Okay. There are three zeros.
34,000.
So 34,000 rupees. Correct? So if you
Yes.
are asked to find only one iteration, here your problem ends. Okay. So with this, your northwest corner method ends. Okay. Any doubts in this? This is very simple problem. So what we'll do is in the next class, since your class is about to end now. So what we will do in next class, why very less students joined today? Only 28, and out of 28, 2 are me. Then 26 students only. What is the class strength? Class strength is now 47, I think. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Why very less students are joining the class? Any problems?
Sir,
Is there
few
anything that you are
already
not
left,
getting?
sir. few
So you
already
already
left.
left.
It is, yeah, 10 minutes over.
Oh, so they are very punctual about their lunch, huh? Okay. So
No.
next class we'll start with the. Okay, no problem. Next class we'll start with the. Have you taken attendance, Aditya?
Taking, sir.
Aditya, make this a note that every time you take attendance, at least like after 10 minutes of the class, okay? Yeah, by see now some people already left now, so they won't get attendance now.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Anyhow, you just take an attendance and send it to me. In the next class, we'll take one more problem on northwest corner method, and with that problem only, we'll continue with all the other methods. Okay.
Yes.
Is there any doubt that anybody is having? If there's any doubt, please ask me now. Okay, if there's any doubt, you just text me. I'll do it in the next class. Okay. Have you taken attendance, Aditya?
Yes, sir. Taken.
Okay. So we'll meet in the next class tomorrow. Okay. Have a good
Okay,
day.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.